It's Monday, August 31st, and the time for your Barbados Today Morning News Update. A survey conducted by the Barbados Chamber of Commerce and Industry shows businesses, particularly those in the retail and distribution sectors, are feeling the pinch of COVID-19. According to the head of the BCCI, TRISHA TANNIS, data from a survey of members point to steadily declining sales and revenue, with many businesses already having to cease operations. And it is for that reason the BCCI is strongly objecting to claims that local businesses were using the COVID-19 pandemic to make job cuts that were in the pipeline prior to the health crisis. TANNIS said there was no evidence to support the claims.
Notwithstanding a temporary increase in sales in the month of March, retailers and distributors who remained open during the curfew have reported steady reductions in revenue as high as 25% over the period April to July this year, compared to the same period last year. Retailers that were closed during the curfew reported more significant slides, upwards of 35%, for the same period. Of equal or greater concern is the negative outlook for the foreseeable future, which results from observed declining foot traffic as high as 20% in various sectors, and extremely thin margins, particularly in the supermarket sector, which is wholly dependent on significant volumes generated by foot traffic and customer spend to cover overheads. Secondly, the continued closure of critical veins in the economy, such as the hospitality sector and food and beverage sectors, and those engaged in activity to support school preparation, have all contributed to unprecedented reductions in economic activity as pipeline demand has shrunk and continues to shrink.
TANNIS called on all stakeholders to understand the gravity of the economic situation based on the data, which she said clearly showed a continued decline in revenue and high unsustainable levels of overhead costs for many businesses, particularly those which were closed during the curfew.
This has had a direct impact on their ability to sustain the business modalities and structures that existed prior to the COVID-19 crisis. Overheads and other structural costs, including rent and staffing levels, have been reduced, resulting in physical locations being closed, opening hours being shortened, and the unfortunate downsizing of staff costs witnessed to date. These actions have not been taken with any perverse motive, which recent media comments seem to suggest, but ironically, in the interest of preserving the livelihoods of as many employees as possible by averting total business failures. We urge and encourage responsible and informed commentary as we work together to recover from the current economic downturn. Emotive and inflammatory comments serve nothing to advance our national and collective well-being.
3 more people tested positive for COVID-19 over the weekend, pushing the country's national count to 173. The new cases, now in isolation at the Harrison Point St. Lucie facility, are a 33-year-old male visitor and a 42-year-old Barbadian man who both arrived in Barbados aboard British Airways on August 25th and tested positive on their second test. The third is a 24-year-old Bahamian female student who arrived Saturday on Caribbean Airlines from the Bahamas via Jamaica. 21 people are in isolation after 4 people left, having recovered from the viral illness. Virgin Atlantic customers are being assured that they can book with confidence this year with the introduction of free COVID-19 insurance cover on all new and existing bookings. Officials took the media on a tour of one of their aircraft on Sunday and highlighted some of the other measures put in place for the safety of the traveling public. Shamar Blunt reports.
With the spread of the novel COVID-19 virus still being on the minds of travelers the world over, Virgin Atlantic Airlines has spared no expense to ensure their passengers' safety remains paramount to its service within the region. This assurance came from their regional business development manager, Sean Edwards, as he took media personnel on a tour of one of their Boeing 787-9 planes on Sunday. According to Edwards, with safety concerns being at the forefront of the industry right now, Virgin Atlantic has taken an extra step in providing a special COVID insurance coverage for travelers from now through to March 2021.
We've just recently launched our COVID insurance for every passenger that books a ticket on Virgin Atlantic, and you're covered by the COVID insurance for travel between now and up to the end of March. So it gives you a bit of confidence when booking with Virgin Atlantic. Now also on board we have the wellness pack that we offer our clients as well. So this has 3 face masks in it, hand sanitizer, some wipes, and that gives you the sense of security when you're on board as well, that confidence that you need when you're traveling with us. And we normally do our cleaning. So our aircraft has been cleaned yesterday evening. Now it's going back out, it's been sanitized, and we will just do some light cleaning here now again. And I just want to show you on board, just show you what fabulous products we have, and to give you our confidence when traveling on Virgin Atlantic.
Though most flights from Barbados to Europe have slowed over the last 2 months, Sean Ayres revealed that interest in the resumed flights continues to grow daily as passengers seek to travel for business or personal reasons.
Our loads have been it's been very good. The flight today is very busy, so I would say that persons are really coming back into Barbados slowly but surely. But it all goes back then to the confidence level. Having the COVID insurance creates that level of confidence to the passenger as well. So I would say Barbados is doing a fabulous job in promoting itself, and our borders are open, and we're welcoming all the tourists from UK and Europe.
Heavy-duty machinery from the Soil Conservation Unit over the weekend cleared away bush and trees from the path that connects Fruitful Hill St. Andrew and Fruitful Hill St. Joseph. Bernard Thompson, officer in charge of the unit, revealed that Prime Minister Mia Mottley requested that area be cleared to allow residents access. The rebuilding of the road will then be the job of the Ministry of Transport and Works.
We would have started from the Cane Garden side of Fruitful Hill and worked all the way up to the St. Joseph side of Fruitful Hill. Now, of course, you would have gone through the area, and it is really and truly a task, given the fact that the outside now is purely wet. But you would have realized that the job is almost completed. Hopefully, when MTW starts to look at rebuilding the road, and they need any assistance from Soil Conservation Unit, because the 2 units actually collaborate with each other when it comes to any work within the Scotland district, and they need any help, we would be readily available to do so.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
To news from our regional neighbors now. Young people in Trinidad and Tobago are being challenged to take the threat of COVID-19 seriously and to think and to act sensibly as cases climbed over the 1,000 mark with 21 deaths. The plea from Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley came in his independence message to mark the country's 58th anniversary. The Prime Minister, who said he had seen the infection rate growing most rapidly among 25 to 35-year-olds, urged those in that age group to take responsibility for stopping the spread of the virus in their circles.
I know of the thoughts and feelings of the invincibility that youth possess, but now is not the time, and a pandemic is not the circumstance to wager bets on your indestructibility and those around you. Young people, take responsibility for your clips, crews, and lines, and become protectors for and of each other. This is it. This is not a drill. It's not a joke. This is not a trendy share of an Instagram or a cool forward on WhatsApp. The risk is real. We have deaths, and we have right now a number of citizens in high dependency care. I have seen what a contact tracing list looks like when it trails out to secondary and tertiary contacts. I tell you, we are all living in a small, interconnected, interdependent, and intricate village where one irresponsible person can risk hundreds of lives, or one responsible person can inversely protect hundreds of lives.
And finally, data compiled by the US-based Johns Hopkins University showed global coronavirus cases surged past 25 million on Sunday, with India setting the record for the highest single-day rise in cases. Nearly 843,000 people have died from the virus globally. India's health ministry announced on Sunday that at least 78,761 new infections were reported in 24 hours, setting a new daily record worldwide. In Latin America, the worst-hit region was still struggling with its first wave, while the U.S. remains the hardest-hit country by the pandemic.
Cases of the novel coronavirus in the United States topped 6 million on Sunday, as many states in the Midwest reported increasing infections, according to a Reuters tally. Iowa, North Dakota, South Dakota, and Minnesota have recently reported record one-day increases in new cases, while Montana and Idaho are seeing record numbers of currently hospitalized COVID-19 patients. Appearing on CBS's Face the Nation on Sunday, Dr. Scott Gottlieb, the former commissioner of the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, said the trend was worrisome.
The most concerning trend right now is that as we see the cases fall in the Sun Belt, they're picking up in other parts of the country, particularly across the Midwest and the West, and particularly in rural parts of the country. And that's a big concern because those parts of the country probably have less healthcare resources to keep up with the epidemic. They don't have the same kinds of hospitals and same kinds of resources to deal with an epidemic like this.
Many of the new cases in Iowa are in the counties that are home to the University of Iowa and Iowa State University, which are holding some in-person classes.
That's news. But for the very latest, visit us at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. And you can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM and Capital Media HD 99.3 FM.